What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and you know, Zachary Levi, he's coming out and he made some comments last week. I'm sure a lot of you guys have already seen those comments, defending James Gunn and Peter Safran about the whole shakeup with the DC universe. You know, mainly the biggest backlash, I think the only backlash really at this point, is in regards to Henry Cavill being shooed out, being kicked out of the DC universe, and James Gunn going with a younger version of Superman. I think that's the biggest issue that most people have. Now, is that fair? You know, Zachary Levi seems to be saying, nah, that's not fair. You know, give this guy a shot and, you know, let's see what he comes up with. You know, they're working hard. They're doing all the right things, you know, and we'll go ahead and check out this little Instagram message that he put out there in just a second. But let's go ahead and just read this article briefly. This is on Deadline. Shazam star Zachary Levi defends James Gunn and Peter Safran amid backlash. Like I said, this came out last week. Shazam star Zach Levi is coming to the defense of new DC studio bosses James Gunn and Peter Safran. Both came under fire recently. It's really just Gunn. I mean, to be honest with you. After it was revealed that Gunn is penning a new Superman movie and that Henry Cavill won't be returning as the Man of Steel, as well as other DC changes. The decision to recast Superman brought some anxiety about other DC characters. Dwayne Johnson announced Tuesday that Black Adam won't be a part of the first phase of the DC plans. And then it says here that, you know, he shared his thoughts on the Instagram live video, urging fans to trust Gunn and Safran's vision for the DC universe and not to believe in conjecture and rumor mills. You know, rumor mills are part of comic book culture, in my opinion, at this point. People are going to have their conjecture and have the rumor mills. You know, it's a part of film culture. It's especially a part of superhero film culture that people are going to speculate. People are going to throw out rumors. People are going to say, well, who's doing this? Oh, this writer is doing it. Oh, I don't know about this writer. You know, this director's doing it. I don't know about that director. You know, oh, I don't really like, you know, all of that stuff is going to come out. But let's go ahead and see what Zachary Levi actually has to say. Now, so here's the Instagram post that he put up. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
They're making decisions based on what is best for Warner Brothers, DC, that entire studio and entity, and trying to make as many fans, as much of an audience happy as they can. And up to this point, there have been quite a few films that may have made some people very happy, DC films that made some people very happy, but they're not tapping into the larger audience. And, you know, Marvel was very successful in doing that, bringing as many people to the table, as many people that could be satiated and brought joy and all that stuff. You know, so if you're out there and you really liked what happened before, you can do that. That's fine. But recognize there's a lot of people that didn't like those things, and we should always be trying to, I think, tap into as much audience as possible, making as many people happy as possible. That's what we're in entertainment for. And I think that's what Peter and James are really trying to do. And it's not an easy position. They got handed all of these things that were already in a lot of conflict. So guys, just fucking give them a break. Take it easy. Take a breath. It's the holidays, for God's sake. Just go enjoy what these holidays are. Let's give them some time to enjoy these holidays. And let's see what's going to happen on the other side of all of this.
Yeah, Zach. I see the game you playing, Zach. I see the game you playing. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Yeah. Get on out there. You see all the heat coming down? Get out there and make that PSA on behalf of the new boss. Yeah, the new boss going to be like, I like what you said there, Zach. Yeah, you saying, hey, give him a chance. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's take a look at this Shazam 3 script that you dragged in here. Zach, you ain't fooling me at all, bro. Hey, man, I ain't even mad at it, bro. Good job. So he makes a couple of points here that I did want to talk about. The first one, of course, is the obvious one. Hey, just give these guys a shot, right? Give Peter and James a chance to build this DC universe into something special, okay? That's what he's asking folks to do. Now, I think a lot of what goes into giving them a fair shot and a fair chance is really going to depend on how you feel about their previous stuff. Like for me, I'm about 50-50 on James Gunn, okay? You know, I like the original Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's a top 5 all-time MCU movie. I don't think that thing is budged out of the top 5 since it came in, and it's solid, it's good, it's fun, it's a great film, okay? Nothing wrong with that film, okay? However, Guardians 2 and this little Guardians Christmas special is kind of on the downslide from the original, okay? And I don't know what Guardians 3 is going to be. I already kind of have some reservations just looking at the trailers and seeing some of the stuff. So I'm kind of like, man, I don't know, okay? So that's Marvel stuff. Now, I'm cool with this stuff with DC. The Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, I thought he did a great job, okay? Thought he did a great job with both of those. Kind of, again, back to that Guardians of the Galaxy kind of feel. I think he really captured those characters. But is he the person to set the tone for the universe? I guess is my question, okay? Like, back in the day, and you can watch the video because I did it with T. I'll even link it above. You know, me and T talked about James Gunn and James Wan kind of co-shepherding the DC universe as a whole, okay? The two of them working together, all right? And the reason that I said both is because, number one, James Wan understands that the universe needs to be connected and interconnected. He has that experience from building out The Conjuring, right? The Conjuring universe. He has that experience of a cinematic universe. But I also think that he understands tone. He understands the type of tone that you would need for DC. And this actually brings me to the second point that Zach Levi made when he mentions Marvel. And he says, well, you see what happened over there with Marvel and how they were able to bring so many people joy. And look, we just got through talking about this with that Daredevil video that I just did, okay? And I'll link that one above. This idea of making stories accessible to more people, listen, everything ain't for everybody, okay? DC and Marvel are two completely different universes, okay? Two different styles of storytelling, two different types of characters, okay? And a completely different tone. And that's where my concern with James Gunn comes, all right? If you've watched James Gunn stuff in the past, James Gunn is kind of like this sarcastic individual, right? With a lot of tongue-in-cheek comedy, and that works fine for Marvel, okay? For Marvel, that does great, all right? And I think that works for the Suicide Squad and for Peacemaker, okay? You're talking about the fringe of the universes, okay? These smaller characters that not a lot of people have heard of, okay? But when you're talking about Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, you're talking about a completely different style and set of characters. Now, I'm pretty sure James Gunn understands that. But is he the type of person, and what he does well, is that what's going to elevate those particular stories and characters? That's my concern, all right? It's not that, can this guy tell a story, all right? And I'm being as objective as I can possibly be right here. It's not that James Gunn has pissed everybody off necessarily. It's, is he able to tell these types of stories, all right? Can he capture that tone? All right, we're going to find out. But if you've watched James Gunn's career, you know, all of his films are kind of the same. They kind of have that same sort of tone, similar to Guardians, similar to the Suicide Squad, similar to the Peacemaker. Okay, so can he do that with Superman? I don't know. I don't know if that's the tone you want for Superman, but we'll have to see. But the idea that Marvel and DC are somewhat sort of interchangeable, I think people need to understand that these are completely different franchises, different storytelling. DC is more gods amongst men, okay? You know, this pantheon of godlike characters amongst men, just regular people. Versus Marvel is all about the humanity of their heroes, you know, coming together and building up for some kind of a crisis, okay? You know, you see the humanness of Spider-Man, which is what makes Spider-Man a fun character, right? He's human. He's not just some godlike character. He's a human being, and we relate to him as a human being. Stan Lee wrote him that way for that reason, you know? So, like, those types of characters work in a certain tone versus you're doing DC, you know, you're looking at almost like myth making, you know, mythology with DC versus more humanity with Marvel. So that's the question that I have. Now, in regards to the type of stories that James Gunn can possibly tell, we had this bit of news that came out. James Gunn DCU is taking inspiration from Justice League Unlimited and Young Justice. I think this is absolutely a smart move to make. I think both of these cartoons are absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. And if you are looking for like great DC content, go check out these two, okay? Especially Young Justice, first two seasons, because first two seasons of Young Justice, I think, are phenomenal. Seasons 3 and 4 and thereafter, you know, you can skip them. But the first two seasons, absolutely great. Justice League Unlimited, in the same vein as Batman, the animated series, Superman, the animated series. I don't think you can go wrong with those. So let's go ahead and check this out real quick. DC Studio Boss confirms popular DC series like Young Justice and Justice League Unlimited will serve as inspiration for the new DCU. And basically it says here, someone sent him a tweet, you know, confirmed on Twitter that he is definitely taking inspiration from animated DC shows like Justice League Unlimited and Young Justice when planning out the DCU with Peter Safran. While Gunn didn't elaborate on which aspects of the series inspired him, both properties successfully balance popular and obscure characters in an already established universes, which is something James Gunn has confirmed the DC you will focus on moving forward. And then it goes into all of the nonsense that's been going on since he took over. Yeah, he's been making a whole lot of waves as the new CEO, basically cutting loose with Henry Cavill, and leaving a lot of fans angry at the DC studio head. Yeah, all of that stuff is true. You can go ahead and check out that article on CBR. But yeah, I think that, definitely going back to what the headline is basically referencing is Justice League and Young Justice. I think that's a good place to start, and if you want to catch it, you better hurry the hell up, because it does show once again, HBO Max is removing two of the best DC shows ever made. And that, of course, one of those being Justice League and then the other being Justice League Unlimited, are coming off the platform, I think at the end of January. So now's the time. If you want to go check those out, Justice League Unlimited is absolutely amazing. Explored the greater expanded heroic roster with the 7 staple members being joined by rotating guest stars week to week. This may be the fullest and most fleshed out DC Universe adaptation ever brought to screens, And he even mentioned, like, James Gunn was asked whether he would be using this, and he said definitely. So I think this might give us kind of a sneak peek as to what they're doing, along with Young Justice. Like I said, first 2 seasons of Young Justice are phenomenal. But beyond that, decide for yourself how you feel about it. But anyway, folks, what do you think about this situation? Zach Levi's comments, James Gunn moving over, doing some Justice League Unlimited and Young Justice, getting some inspiration from those. Tell me what you think. Go ahead, jump down in the comments, leave me your thoughts and your suggestions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.